Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's reading. Know that simply by being present here, there is this kind of energetic co-creation process taking place. So when you listen to this reading, regardless of when or where you're tuning in from, because energy really doesn't recognize time, space, distance, or I'm hearing barriers, boundaries. Interesting. I don't usually say that when I say that phrase. So it tells me that in today's reading, I really feel we're going to be talking about some kind of energy that's being transmitted that is surpassing a traditional barrier or boundary. Maybe this is even energy being transferred in a love connection in your life. So we are going to get into that later. I also got the name Elena, the name Eric, the name Erica, and maybe just those letter initials, ELRIKCA. Those could be in someone's first or last name. So in today's reading, there's a lot coming through, and I'm going to start with a kind of download that's been in the works here, and it's actually about emotional energy. I can already tell that this particular reading is going to be very quantum in nature. So take whatever feels intuitively connected for you and leave the rest here. But I'm also getting that I got the name Mary. A lot of maybe that also means someone wants to marry you or ascend your connection to a higher level of communication or commitments, or there could be some kind of marriage involved in a situation. Okay, so I'm getting a lot about emotional energy, and specifically how my guides are saying you are a feeler, meaning you are someone who has a capacity to feel emotions deeply. And this is a gift. Yes, it is a gift, although very often in your life, it's probably felt like a curse because other people trained to perceive it that way, trained you to perceive it that way, because that's how they unconsciously saw it. But I'm hearing most people are observers and you are a feeler. So a lot of people are unconsciously observing what's happening in their life, people around them, observing, judging, and projecting. Whereas you are someone who feels, internalizes, and transmutes. And in a world where so many are still unconsciously simply observing, judging, and projecting, your gifts are even more important than they've ever been before, because you are, in a sense, and this is kind of putting it in an oversimplified way, and I want to explain it a bit more, but you are almost like one of Earth's energy filters. Kind of like you will put air filters in a home to keep the atmosphere clean. A lot of Earth energy is polluted by judgment, fear, and other forms of unconsciousness. And in this Earth, you are one of the rare few who actually has the ability to to interpret energies around you and to quite literally filter them through your energy body. Now, this may sound like a burden, and it can feel that way, especially because given that you are such a powerful energy feeler or energy filter, as my guides are saying, you have most likely experienced a lot of physical side effects and emotional side effects from this natural energy kind of filtering that your system does. Some people would call this simply being an empath, but the thing is, we've moved beyond just the concepts of being an empath, and it's not just about any longer being able to look at someone or being able to be around someone and to empathize with them, to feel what they're feeling, almost in this sort of victimized way. We are actually becoming the next level of empath. The next evolution of the empath is the transmuter. It is being able to actually take that energy that you're feeling and to alchemize it, to turn it into something else within you, to infuse it into things like music, like art, like ideas, businesses, collaborations, to actually take that energy, to feel it in your being, to process it, to transmute it, and to, just like the alchemist would take things of low value and turn them into precious metals, you are taking that dense, heavy, lower vibrational, emotional energy, filtering it, and actually changing it into gold, whether that's something you're creating, something you are doing, something you are accomplishing in your life. Because what many people don't realize is that being an empath is actually, it's not only a gift spiritually, but it actually gives you a special set of abilities when it comes to manifesting, which is essentially working with energy to create specific desired outcomes. It gives you a special ability when it comes to working with energy because as an empath, you are someone who's naturally familiar with energies because you've been feeling them so intensely from such a young age. You actually understand the fine details when it comes to the energetics behind people and behind this planet. And so once you become conscious of this ability, not just to passively be victimized by these energies, but actually to filter them and to transmute them, you become the empowered empath. Now, right as I said that, just in this moment, it gave me the inspiration for the next subliminal I'll be creating in my app. So this subliminal is going to be called the Empowered Empath, and it will be available by the time this video is premiering because I'm feeling many of you are going to resonate with it, and it's going to be designed for those of you who are using the app to help you really harness those abilities to sense and transmute energy towards your personal creations to allow you to filter out that energy more effectively. So that will be available in my Subliminals app. And if you aren't yet familiar with the app, then the name of it is Sound and Soulful. So you can find it by searching in the App Store. But I also always leave a link to it at the bottom of the description box underneath this video, just for ease of reference. If you do want to explore more about how you can use subliminals to shift your energy and manifest in your life. But again, this specific one is going to be called the Empowered Empath, and I'm already feeling it's going to be a really powerful one. It's interesting because just here in this reading, through that inspiration that came through for that new subliminal as we're channeling about this really intense energy dynamic, it's almost like we're seeing in real time what I'm talking about. Like, this is an example in a very small way in this reading of energy being transmuted into something of value. We were talking about something heavy, and that energy got filtered here through our collective and then became this empowered empath subliminal meditation to help people reclaim their power as an empath. So in your own life, I feel there are parallels here. I feel that you have noticed how I'm hearing your brightest moments come after your darkest hours. So you are noticing how your breakthroughs often come after times where you are met with a lot of resistance or heavy energy. Every time someone has broken your heart, you've always actually come out stronger. For some reason, I'm getting that quote about how every time someone breaks my heart, I glow up, I level up. That is kind of a cliche quote, but there's actually a reality to that quote for people who have this ability to transmute energy in this way, where when they are in a situation where they are going through something really heavy or challenging or picking up that energy from someone else, it actually also carves out this kind of space within them that allows them to create with even more magnetism, power, and force than before. And I don't mean force like control. I mean force like amplified power. It like pushes out those creations in a stronger way. And so I know we've been kind of talking about all these different aspects of your beautiful multidimensional empathic self here, but I'm also getting very strongly that people do not understand your very unique energetic needs. My guides were telling me that this video is going to specifically reach people who have very, very unique needs energetically, emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically. You may be someone who's very particular about certain things needing to be a certain way in your life without really needing or without really knowing why. So, for example, in relationships, you may have very unique emotional needs. You may at times have even labeled yourself as needy, but that is this projected judgment that you've picked up from society because that has such a negative connotation to it. It's not that you are needy in any of these situations. It's that you have a highly advanced, delicate, energetic system capable of filtering and transmuting energy to a really high degree, and therefore you require a certain level of maintenance, care, support, upkeep in all aspects and areas of your life that very few people are going to understand. I'm also getting that when it comes to love and relationships, you've been very protected. I'm getting the letter initials GARBLIE. Those could be in someone's name here. This has definitely complicated your romantic relationships because few people respect these needs because they don't understand them and they may be living in their own unconsciousness, or they don't fully value the gift of having someone like you connected to them so closely, which, by the way, that is a massive gift, because when you are connected, when you have the privilege of being connected to someone like you who has this ability to feel to such a heightened degree and to filter this energy, it's like I'm hearing walking around with this automatic room brightener, this energy clearer. It's almost like you are, it sort of reminds me of how sometimes we will carry around or place in our home certain crystals or stones that carry particular properties. For example, clear quartz, because it can have this kind of energy clearing effect on us or on our environment. Well, you are kind of the walking clear quartz. You are like this walking crystal, or I've referred to you before as a good luck charm, but I feel like we're just going really so much deeper into that dynamic. I feel that specifically someone or a group of people who have been really picking up on this thread of being kind of like a good luck charm for people around them have really manifested this reading and these pieces of information today. So thank you for your role in that. So when someone has the privilege of being connected to you, they will notice that every room the two of you walk into together seems to brighten. People seem to react more positively to them because they're reacting more positively to you. They will notice themselves feeling more stable and grounded. They will find that they have certain automatic successes or growth in their own life while being connected to you that seems to just happen effortlessly. I got the name Greg for someone. They also find, even as a result of being connected to your energy, even people around them, their friends, their family, can experience blessings and growth and success just as a result of this person being connected to you, even if you have no connection whatsoever with their circle of people, because you have this kind of energy that extends itself. It's like a web. I've sometimes called this a safety net of energy. The thing about this is when I refer to it as kind of like this safety net, it makes it sound almost as though you're going around saving people, as though people don't have this power within themselves, but that wouldn't be the case. Everyone does have equal access to their own spiritual gifts, to these powers, to these abilities. And in this case, everyone has equal ability to train themselves to be very sensitive to energy, to be able to filter it out in this way, and to be able to transmute it. But the thing is, most people have turned those abilities off for the sake of surviving or getting along in society, where oftentimes the ability to be so sensitive to energy doesn't fit into the traditional societal mold. It's not accommodated by society. Now, you are one of those here to change that, to alter that, because you are living as this example of one who walks around with this high-powered energy, with this ability to transmute, and you are powerfully learning to embrace and surrender into the uniqueness of your nature, your unique needs, because you are coming into this conscious recognition of how valuable these energetic sensitivities are. And this consciousness is allowing you to value the unique set of needs that it requires from you. And in living that example of someone who is truly self-loving in the most conscious way, meaning you're self-loving because you are always going deeper within yourself. You're always learning yourself more. You're always becoming conscious of your shadows. You're always feeling into what you need and why. And so this conscious self-love is a powerful example to others. And I'm hearing that you've had a very strange life in a way because, and I'm hearing someone laugh in response to that, like, of course, I know it's been a strange life. You know, if this is your message, more of the strangeness about it than I do. But what I mean in this context is, like I said, most people are capable of turning off their energetic sensitivities, but it's almost as though you incarnated on Earth with no off switch. It's almost as though you've been unable to conform even when you wanted to, because your spirit came in with such a strong, stubborn intention to live in this way, to live according to your true nature, and in doing so, to play an important role in building this new earth where our spiritual gifts are more understood and accommodated and respected, and where we are collectively more and more awakening to those gifts and utilizing them for the betterment of our planet, the betterment of society, to create in this world. So you incarnated with no off switch when it came to these gifts. There have been times in your life where I feel you wanted to turn them off, where you were tired of caring so much, of feeling so much, of being so sensitive. And maybe you wanted to fit yourself into a particular mold, but something in your spirit would never allow you to. You have remained soft and open and loving and sensitive, beautifully sensitive, not in the negative connotation that most people mean that word. You've remained those things in a world that did everything in its power to harden you, to make you cold, to turn off those gifts and those sensitivities. And again, there were times where maybe a part of you wanted to be able to kind of set aside those aspects of yourself, but you couldn't, because not only were and are they so core to your nature, but also because there's always been this timeline pulling you. I feel that for someone I'm speaking to here, part of why you wanted to shut off these gifts is because you may have felt that you needed to be successful, or to have certain things in your life, to have certain accolades, or to achieve certain things, or to be accepted by other people. But what I'm hearing is there's always been this higher timeline calling you where you couldn't quite place it, you couldn't quite grasp it, you definitely couldn't explain it to others, but there was this sense that if you were only to fully embrace your authentic self bravely and to follow that pathway, it actually would unlock levels of success and abundance and accomplishment that were beyond your wildest conceptions, your wildest dreams, but that you were going to do it in an unconventional way. Because these desires, they were never wrong. They were planted in your soul for a reason, because you've been meant to achieve and do and experience wonderful things in this life. And you've always known that deep down. But the thing is, you were meant to do these things in an unconventional way, in your own way, being your most authentic self, living this path of consciousness, using your voice or yourself or your energy for the betterment of society and humanity. And yes, as a byproduct, manifesting all of the things that you've desired in your soul. You've been meant to experience all of these things, and you've always known that deep down. But the thing is, the reason that your timing has been different than maybe you wanted at a conscious level, the reason it's felt slower in coming isn't because it's actually been slower. It's actually because something better is being prepared. Again, all of those things you desire, I keep hearing they're going to happen, but it's going to happen 10 times more than you expect or than you're asking for. And also, it's not going to come through a traditional, conventional routes. Part of why it's taking so long, quote unquote, or it feels that way to your conscious mind, is because you are out in the forest, cutting new pathways, paving new pathways, building this new earth, in a sense, with your vibration, with your frequency, with your consciousness. And in doing so, you are not only paving a pathway for yourself, but I'm hearing you're building generational wealth spiritually. Although for many of you, I'm sure this could be literal as well, if that's one of your desires. But generational wealth spiritually, meaning you're breaking spiritual curses. You are allowing future generations, especially if you're someone who has kids or desires to have kids one day, I see you are breaking these curses for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. You are allowing them to live in emotional abundance, emotional wealth, emotional health through the work that you are doing, carving out these pathways. But also, you yourself are going to experience a lot of the fruits of that effort. You're going to be manifesting the things that you desire. It's just that the reason the timing has been different than people around you is because you are building something entirely different. But what you're building is going to be effortlessly sustainable, is what I'm hearing. And it's going to be something that it's going to be so aligned with your core purpose, your core nature, your truest self, that not only will it be deeply fulfilling when it is fully manifested, it will be fulfilling at all levels and layers. It will fulfill desires that you aren't even fully conscious of yet. But also, you're going to be able to sustain it. A lot of people that you've perceived seeming to achieve things or reach milestones or accomplish things in shorter timing are going to find, or may already be finding, that these things are difficult for them to sustain because they were built from a place of disconnectedness from their most authentic self. They were climbing a ladder that they're going to eventually feel was up against the wrong wall. But I feel like you got off that ladder a long time ago. And because of that, you are building something that is worth building deliberately. I'm hearing something about building a very careful foundation. So it's almost like energetically you've been brick by brick laying this perfect foundation to support everything that's going to come. And many people may not fully believe yet in this magnificent thing that you are building, because you're only on the foundation right now. But know that because you've been so deliberate and aligned in the way you've been creating the foundation, everything from here is going to continue to flow naturally and effortlessly. And again, it's going to be something that is not only very powerful, that involves the manifestation of everything you've been desiring 10 times over, but it's also going to be sustainable. Because it's going to feel, I'm just hearing something that almost just feels so easy. It's like an extension of yourself. It's like another limb or something that you're using. So maybe that speaks to some kind of gift you have, a talent, an ability, or a dream, a desire that feels so effortless and natural to you because it's so aligned with you that doing it almost feels just like moving your arm or your leg. And I'm hearing wait for that feeling of effortlessness, because that is a pure sign of alignment. Now, for some of you, this might be more about what's coming into your life. Maybe nothing has quite felt that natural to you so far. Maybe I'm speaking in love. Maybe I'm speaking in work, career, whatever this is. But I'm hearing that you're going to be landing on something, whether, again, it's a relationship, a person, a job, an idea that feels so smooth and so effortless. Again, it's as natural as just moving your arm or your leg, because it feels like an extension of you. And that is such a powerful sign that it's an alignment for you. I'm hearing it's coming from within you, not from outside of you. It's completely connected to you, which is what makes it so effortless. So, wow, we're 20 minutes in and I haven't pulled a single card. It's just been one of those messages. But I will say that prior to starting this reading, as I was preparing the decks, I did have the Empress and the heart chakra cards that were both at the bottom of their respective decks. So the Empress is such a perfect fit here for everything we've been channeling, and maybe just a confirmation, because the Empress is one who plays by her own rules, who creates her own standards and creates in her own world. And again, I say she just because the image on this card is a woman, but this isn't connected to any particular gender. This does often relate to divine feminine energy, but we all have a balance internally of divine feminine and divine masculine energy. So take that however it connects. But for the sake of this card, she, the Empress, moves and flows effortlessly because she's so deeply connected to herself. She creates in her own lane, in her own worlds. There's something strongly coming up here about not comparing your timing to another person's timing, or your journey to another person's journey, or whatever the case is, because you are like this unicorn, this magical being creating in your own world. You are incomparable to anyone or anything else, because you carry such, I'm hearing an independent frequency, especially in those moments where you are knowing that so consciously that you are able to release entirely any conception of what anyone else might be thinking or feeling about you, because you know that you are creating in your own worlds. I'm hearing something about inviting people into your worlds. So I'm hearing that when you live as your authentic self, as you are, when you're flowing with life in this way, it invites people into your worlds, but they have to accept the invitation. And the ones who accept the invitation are the ones who are aligned with you at that deeper level. And you are not to feel rejected when someone doesn't accept the invitation to come into your magical world. It's their loss, not yours. And you are never to step outside of this magical, beautiful world you're creating in order to get someone to see you or understand you or connect with you. I'm hearing if they don't accept the invitation to immerse themselves in your world, to come into your world, to align with you in that way, they're never going to fully understand you regardless, no matter how much you explain yourself to them. With the heart chakra card, of course, this connects with love energy in its purest form. Love that is unconditional self-love that then naturally radiates outward as this pure, high vibrational, warm frequency that people feel. I'm hearing your love changes people in an instant. Even if you don't communicate to them that love, even if you don't speak a word to them, walking around as this beacon of love means walking around as a spiritual activator. You alter the frequency of others simply by being present with them while living in love. And it's funny because I reshuffled the whole energy oracle cards deck, and what card comes out again but the heart chakra card. And as I pulled it the second time, I heard so strongly, keep living in love and know the power of living in love. I know that earlier we talked about how there also could be this love connection involved here. And we talked about how you have a unique set of needs energetically that few people understand. But this whole time, as I've been channeling this reading, I keep feeling this energy kind of around the outskirts of you, kind of observant, very calm, curious, respectful, gentle. So if that seems to connect with someone romantically in your life, we will be channeling more into that person, kind of bringing them into the light here. So we'll be talking about who this could be potentially, why they are so observant, why they're kind of around your energy. And that will be channeled in our extended Patreon reading. I do channel these extended Patreon readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with these 3 times per week collective readings on YouTube. So when you join on Patreon, you get access not just to this reading, but to all of the previous ones as well. So the link to that Patreon reading is in the pinned comment and also the description box that I'll be leaving underneath this video. But I am not getting any clear sense about what else is going to be coming through that reading. It will be approximately the length and time of this reading. So many details and messages and personalized pieces of information will come through just based on the frequency that you bring to that reading. So I will be heading over there next, but I want to go ahead and leave you with a Rumi message for the rest of your day and to uplift your weekend. So what does Rumi have to say to us today? By the way, thank you for being here and co-creating such a beautiful message today. I really, really adored the messages that came through here. So the card that we pulled is 1. I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, and one I call. Like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are created uniquely and of divine essence. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey, and there is no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. So I'm going to go ahead and close the reading here. If you do resonate with my energy, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at @magnetizeyourself. And I am simply wishing you a really beautiful, magical remainder of your day and weekend. I'm sending you so much love, and I will connect with you here again in Monday's reading.